Hi, everyone. I'm so excited about what we're doing here today at Grace Fellowship. Grace hits the streets, going from house to house and sharing a meal together. Did you know that in Luke 22, that before Jesus went to be crucified, the day before, he had to eat a meal with his disciples? And I want to explore that passage with you just a few minutes and show you some key elements that we can learn. You see, Jesus wants us to have a successful life. He knows we're going to have trials. He knows there's going to be problems. What is it that's going to get you through this life, you and your family, successfully prosper? And I believe Jesus said this in Luke 22. And he told those guys what to do. And they went, in verse 13, and found everything to be exactly like Jesus had prophesied. They prepared the Passover meal. And when Jesus arrived at the upper room, he took his place at the table along with all the apostles, all of them, including Judas. And then he told them, I've longed with passion and desire to eat this Passover lamb with you before I endure my sufferings. You see, Jesus was telling us something here deeper than I think we'll ever know. I promise you, Jesus said, that the next time we eat this, we'll be together in the banquet of God's kingdom realm. And then he raised a cup and he gave thanks to God and he said, take this and pass it on to one another and drink. And I promise you that the next time we drink this wine, we will be together in the feast of God's kingdom realm. And then he lifted up the loaf and he broke it. He said, this loaf is my body, which is now being offered to you. Always eat it to remember me. Then he said, this cup is my blood, the new covenant I make with you. You see, there's something supernatural about what we're doing here today. There's something deeper. I know it's fun. I know it's important. I know it is, but there's something so much deeper. And then he talked about something. Then guess what it says in verse 23? It says, the apostles questions among themselves which one of them was about to betray him. The disciples bickered. They argued over which one of them would be considered the greatest in the kingdom. And you know, Jesus saw that. He sees what goes on. He knows how our world operates. And Jesus said these words, kings and men of authority in this world rule oppressively over their subjects, claiming that they do it for the good of the people. They're obsessed with how others see them. But this is not your calling. You will lead by a different model. The greatest one among you will live as one called to serve others without honor. The greatest honor and authority is reserved for the one who has a servant's heart. You know, it's interesting when Jesus flipped the tables on us. And all of a sudden, he totally turned the entire world's value systems upside down. And it is the way to live. And he came and he said, guys, here's a different way to live. And if you live this way, as you stand with me, you're going to triumph. And God's power is going to work in your life, just like it did in Jesus' life. You know, I just want to pick up a few things from this story. And you could spend a long time looking at it and studying it. And one thing is this, I believe Jesus made a point here to say, guys, your destiny, your future is formed in community. It's formed in a family. And you know, serving is the foundation of this family. It's what's going to bring you through life. It's what's going to bring you through the obstacles, through the trials, through the problems in life. You see, in every one of us, every part's essential. Peter and John, they went and got the place ready. Another man had the resources to have a room, a big room, large enough, furnished, ready for them. You see, every part mattered. Some of them just were there, just being at the table. Jesus needed their presence. It mattered to him. Somebody organized the meeting. You see, that's just as important as the people who had the money to pay for the house. Every part of this is important. Every person is equally valuable. Every person is needed. Every person is loved. You know, when Jesus did this, he said something. When you invite people into your home, you guys that have opened your home to all of us, you know what you've done? You said, guys, we're all in. We're willing to sacrifice. We're willing to sweat. We're willing to give and to serve for the good of the body. You see, that's true leadership. That's the people who are honored in God's kingdom. And you know, the truth is, Jesus was all in when he did this. Take the bread, take the wine. It's my body, it's my blood. Guys, you know the secret to life? It's when you're all in. Not when you, all in means you give all of yourself to him. Jesus gave it all, including his friendship, his love, his time. They ate together. And it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice, what we're doing here. It takes time. It takes your energy. You have to put up with people that may think differently than you, and you have to clean and cook and serve and clean up afterwards. There's a sacrifice involved. But this is how we grow. The only way to grow in God's kingdom is together. You see, it's when we're together that the harvest reveals the seed that was planted. Where do you think loving comes from? Where do you think sacrificing comes from? Where do you think giving comes from, and honoring people and serving people? It only comes from your relationship that you have with the Lord. That is born in relationship. And you know, it takes faith. It's not convenient. It's not easy. It takes faith. It's not an instant payback. It's a life of faith. You see, we've been called to this. We've been called to live a life of faith. And I just want to thank each one of the homes, everyone who's served, everyone who's given, everyone who's come and been a part of this. You're important, and it matters. And the kingdom of God is advancing because of what we did here this afternoon. God bless you guys. Enjoy the rest of the trip.